What is happening?
The March of the Machine has commenced. The Phyrexians are ready to conquer the entire multiverse. Commanding the charge is Elish Norn, the leader of the Praetors. Look how she radiates in all her metallic glory. Elish Norn follows the doctrine written in the Argent Etchings, and she will carry its message to every plane she invades. Those who resist her ascension, like the traitor Urabrask, will be repurposed to serve her machine orthodoxy. Nothing will stand in the way of her conquest. The Mother of Machines has a flair for the luxurious. Her collection of completed artifacts already flaunts a sky shark and a dread ship.
Ooh,
Now she's setting her
Shark.
sights on bigger game. On Ixalan, she seeks the elder dinosaur Itali. In the Primal Conqueror, she sees the image of herself. All that's left is to make this predator a little more perfect. Much better. On Theros, another world-eating beast has caught the attention of the Praetors.
What?
Freed from the underworld, Pelukranos has been reborn. Completing this hungry Hydra will give the Phyrexians a monstrous upper hand in overthrowing the multiverse. In his new
Pogkranos?
form, he will match the Mother
This is
of
going way
Machines.
too fast.
The shell of porcelain white
I
and
can't contain the
scarlet
hype.
will serve as a trademark of her growing dominion. While Elish Norn is prowling for new prey, her minions are holding down the fort on Phyrexia. Glissa is staying busy by incubating new invaders.
Listen, no!
These parasites will follow in the footsteps of their matriarch. Meanwhile, Nissa, now fully complete, must confront a paragon of her past. The sight of her new form will shift the ground beneath Chandra's feet. As Elish Norn's armies lay waste to these worlds, the Phyrexians will continue to claim more trophies. Nothing is safe from their contagious grasp.
This is a
Storm clouds are
different kind of
settling in
presentation.
across the open
Holy crap, this
skies.
is fast.
The Earth is separating under the influence of an evil force. Cracks in the soil are taking the shape of a sinister symbol. Hovering portals are the precursors to their arrival. The Phyrexians are everywhere. In order to travel across the multiverse, they've activated their greatest weapon, Realmbreaker, the invasion tree. Through its sprawling branches, they send their mechanical legions to convert all
What?
planes. From
Holy
Kamigawa
crap.
to Ikoria, the contagion proliferates. On Ravnica, Realmbreaker's metal limbs erupt from the center square. But standing their ground are constructs who have sworn to defend the Guild Pact. They will hold the first line of resistance. Similar scenes of horror and chaos are unfolding everywhere. On Kaladesh, watchers of the Surgical Bay skitter in pursuit of flywheel racers as they zip through the city streets. Converted vampires tangle with the natives of Olgrotha beneath the haunting light of a full moon. Completed dragons rip through the skies of Tarkir as their lightning breath echoes in a thunderous quake.
Birdie.
On Fiora, assassins and city guards clash with corrupted soldiers.
Battle.
This siege threatens the lives of everyone on the plane. But their queen, Marquesa, refuses all who trespass. Nobody threatens her throne. As Elish Norn's forces spread, the battle rages on. The foundries of New Capenna are bellowing. The mage rings of Virn are overloading. Realmbreaker's gnarled branches are puncturing the surface of every plane. The stakes have
Dinosaurs.
never been higher, and everyone is rising to the defense of their home. But whose home will survive the invasion, and whose home won't?
Looks bad for Kaladesh.
Phyrexia is taking the fight to just about every world we've ever been to. Recent hotspots, fan favorites. Elish Norn is coming for them all. If the Phyrexians aren't at your doorstep yet, they will be soon. Prepare for battle. Introducing Battles, a brand new card type in March of the Machine, representing Phyrexia's invasion of the multiverse, and everyone else playing a little defense. Here's Invasion of Ikoria. Each battle is a transforming double-faced card. A battle enters the battlefield front face up, with a number of defense counters on it. That's how much damage it takes to defeat it. Let's break it all down. Battles can be attacked, but you're not playing battles to defend them. You want to take them out. As a battle enters the battlefield, you choose an opponent to be its protector. A battle's protector can block creatures that are attacking that battle. Every other player, including the battle's controller, can attack it. Battles can be damaged. I mean, why attack battles if you can't damage them, right? Damage dealt to a battle causes that many defense counters to be removed from it. But it's not only combat damage. Some spells will specifically say that they damage battles. Also, any spell or ability that says any target, such as Stoke
That's
the
a
Flames,
reprint.
can
Stoke the
target a
Flames.
battle.
Ooh, mono red.
Excellent
Ooh.
work. That leads us to battles can be defeated. At least you hope so. Once a battle has no defense counters on it, an ability triggers that exiles it, and then you cast the back face without paying its mana cost. And there won't be a mana cost, so that part should be easy to remember. The back faces of battles include key parts of each plane's defense strategy. Sure, smash everything. That's, strategy, yeah. And that's how the battle lines have been drawn in March of the Machine. Small rewards lead to big rewards if you're prepared to fight for them.
The forces of Elesh Norn are overrunning the multiverse. The mark of the Phyrexians is forming across all its lands. But fear not, for there is hope on the horizon. These planes are the homes of heroes, and they are teaming up far and wide to protect them. Incoming,
There's a raccoon.
Borigmus and Fibblethip.
What?
Standing at a staggering 10 stories and, well, 8 inches tall, and bearing binocular vision between the both of them, these two Ravnicans will rip through the machine orthodoxy faster than a rhino raid through the rubble belt.
One eye gang.
If need be, for one and a blue, they can get lost in the rubble too. And speaking of rubble, no one knows their way around some ruins better than the Lorehold. Quintorius Cand is joining the fight against the Phyrexians on his native plane of Arcavios. This Loxodon will lean into his archaeological research to awaken the spirits of heroes past. He believes the scroll is mightier than the sword. But maybe not this sword. Surveil and flashback enthusiasts unite. This is just the weapon to brandish against any unwanted invaders, of which there are plenty. From the Guardians of Kaladesh to the Raptors of Ixalan, our heroes are armed to
Sword
the
cycle
razor
complete.
teeth in defense. Perhaps no better bearer of a pair of blades is Boonbringer Valkyrie. The Angels of Starnheim are entering combat once more, and this warrior will provide the teamwork that makes the dream work. Calling on her for backup allows her to share her abilities with an ally. Such tactics will be the key to keeping the skies of Kaldheim clear.
Wow, Baneslayer Angel.
Battling alongside a buddy
Holy
is
crap.
one thing, but how about summoning an entire continent for support? The Zalfarans have been released from their time rift, and they're returning the fight back to Phyrexia. Leading the invasion is none other than Teferi Akosa of Zalfir.
What?
This order of justice and retribution has been a long time coming. Heroes across the
Oh
multiverse
God, a
are
creature
rallying
based
together
fairy?
to push back against the Phyrexians. Colossal dinosaurs and virtuous gods are gathering to defend the hearth. Even the Sengir are weaving their way into the fray. Grandmother
They look
Ravi
happy.
is simply reveling in the occasion.
The World Tree is on fire. The battle for the multiverse has begun. The war is felt heaviest in the hearts of its heroes, and they all have a score to settle with the Phyrexians. As this epic story reaches its apex, familiar faces will prove pivotal to Elesh Norn's downfall. Among them is Ren, the Dryad, who will exert her influence on the very core that powers the marching machine. sealed from existence, showcases the potency of her elemental magic and the intensity of her resolve.
But why wipe them?
Nothing will endure the wrath of her roots. Bonding with the invasion tree will give Ren unprecedented power. She will use it to stretch her hands across the blind eternities and reach for Teferi. Through this connection, a timely message will travel to the temporal pilgrim. With her last strength, she will defy the impossible by phasing all of Zhalfir back into existence. On Phyrexia, at the center of the maelstrom, another hero faces an impossible dilemma. Hanging in the balance between life and unlife, Ajani awaits in suspense for intervention. The cure to his condition lives in the heart of Malira, the Mirren outcast.
Wait, cure?
With her selfless sacrifice, he will finally be freed from the grasp of Phyresis.
What?
This war may affect no hero more than Karn, who was partially responsible for its beginning. Burdened by the regret of losing his home plane of Mirrodin to the Phyrexians ages ago, he returns to Machine Hell with one singular purpose: to destroy its mother.
Get him, Karn. Animated stuff.
Reap the flesh of the worlds for the glory of new Phyrexia. All have united as one in this world of metal and flesh. The realms have called for their mother.
Mommy!
Welcome. Our embrace.
I was called to this world of steel. It will be my steel that answers.
Hi. You know she even walks toe heel when she's about to fight something? That's so fancy. Step off, scrubs. I got wings. She has a split tongue. Ugh. Get him, girl!
Aiding in the task is the angel Elspeth, who will glide into battle on wings shining like a sixth sun. The light of Elspeth's sword will pierce through Elesh Norn as the forces of virtue and malevolence collide. Then, in a spectacular finale, Karn will set right the mistakes of his past by assuring that Elesh Norn never returns to harm another. With her dissolution, the march of the machine will come to its conclusion. And that wraps things up for our debut. This set will be invading stores for pre-releases on April 14th, on Arena and Magic Online April 18th, and available everywhere on April 21st. But the story doesn't end there. Be sure to catch the aftermath online by reading the epilogue on May 1st and 2nd. Learn more about those cards on May 2nd, play them on Arena and Magic Online May 11th, and they will be available everywhere on May 12th. Now is the time to prepare for your one last stand.
Dude, 15-minute video. They're not optimizing for Twitch anymore. They're optimizing for YouTube. Shorter. Bumpier. Get in, get out. But are they going to do like the weekly MTG right after, or is that it? Are we done? Do we get, is there a transition here? Doesn't look like it. Looks like we're done. Dude, where's the post show? Where's the reaction show? What? Where is it? I'm so confused. There is an after show coming up, is there? Reload stream. Like this? But everybody was just arriving.
Hello and welcome to the March of the Machine after show. I'm your host, Blake Rasmussen, but you are here to see the two fine gentlemen on my right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We've got Mark Rosewater.
All right, chat, serious question. Do you want to watch the after show, or do you want to start breaking down the cards in the video and go frame by frame with me? 1, if you want to watch after show. 2, if you want me to break down the video. 1, if you want to watch the after show. 2, if you want me to break down the video. This one's pretty mixed, but I think 2s have it. It looks like the 2s have it, so we'll do that.
And then when it comes to the end, we're going to answer your questions.
Well, you know. I'll try to answer Twitch chat's questions, as fun as that always can be. Let's see, the video is probably still up. Let's see. Video! Look at that. A cool 15 minutes. All right, this time we're gonna pause wherever we freaking want to. That's the grand plan. Too loud. Oh, babies.
The March of the Machine has
my
commenced.
babies.
The Phyrexians
It was
are
too
ready
loud
to
for you?
conquer the entire multiverse.
Your baby, my poor
Commanding
baby.
the charge is
All right. First of all, guys, I will say, so you might see me do this a lot. That's not me looking at Elesh Norn, okay? Let me show you really quickly, now that we're on more chill time, what I'm working with here. Because it's kind of silly. So just a second. New window. I don't know. But if you didn't look at the Twitter, I'm looking super lit. Yeah, I'm also trying to figure out the right amount of light to use. So this is my setup right now. So big monitor is up there. It's up there. Yeah, going for the hacker setup. So this is where I'm playing like the primary stuff. So looking here is where I'll play arena and things. And I got a whole monitor for you. Look at that. That's you. That's you guys. That's chat right there. 4 monitors? No, it's 3. This is one mega monitor. 149 incher in the sky. And a little bitty keyboard. That's right. Little bitty keyboard. So, yeah, there you go. Look, I can waste resources if I want to. Guys, do you want Brian frickin' Kibler to like reply to your tweets? Because this is what it takes. Right here. This is what it takes. For the low price of all this shit, you can have Brian Kibler reply to your tweet. Anyway, all right. So I'm working with that. I haven't worked with it before. Hopefully this goes well. So I want to run a few things by you. You guys are here. We're going to dive into the cards, I promise. How is the sound? Do I sound fine? Because I've got the mic in a different spot. It's a little ways away from me. I could have the mic like this. This is where mic could be. It could be right up here. Is this better? Does this make it better? Or is it like the samesies? Better. Okay. Now go back. This is where it was. This is the place that it used to be. No. Okay. All right. All right. All right. It covers up the Go XLR a little bit, which is kind of a pain, but I can still reach it okay. All right. Second thing, the lighting. Too bright? Like, I've got the lights turned up quite a bit because they're further away from me now. So I would like them lower, but I got to know if this sucks or not. So if I do this, it's probably like there. And then where'd you go? Like, I'd like to do that. Does this matter? This is better. Like, I don't have to wear the glasses as much.
Leader of the Praetors. Look how she.
This looks fine. Okay. Then, like, if I put it here, then I probably don't need to do the sunglasses as much because it's really bright. It's really bright. Cross-eyed. Me looking up at the higher monitor though is pretty funny. Mommy? Yeah, okay. I'll have to get used to that. My God, what's with all the friend requests these days? It's the new people joining the server. They think they all now just like be my friend like this is Facebook or something or MySpace. All right. So many things to look at. I know. I'm going to get used to it. By the way, thank you to everybody who has subbed today. You guys are very cool. I'm not sure why it's not making noise. Oh, because I have it turned off. That's why. There we go. But yeah, big thank you to Super Mega T-Rex, Alequi, Waffle Toasters, Token Stripes, Berserk, Phoenix Dark Dirk, Pierogi Addict, Zartox83, Even Flow, and MTGA The Shuffler, who remains fine. Nocturnal Goose, Holy MTG for 51 months. Renan the Boss. And see, I can do all that because I have this monitor over here that has a very long display of my activity feed so I can see all of the things that happens. Anyway, let's talk about the card. Elesh Norn. It's 4 mana. And it's double-sided. Did we see the other side? Anyway, 3/5 Vigilance, Phyrexian Praetor Mythic. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. What? 2 and a white. Sacrifice 3 creatures. Exile this. Return to the battlefield transformed. Activate only as a sorcery. I have a feeling that the backside's not going to matter too much. Let's see. I mean, it'll probably be OP, but I have a feeling it's not going to happen too often is what I mean. All right. Incubate 2 5 times. Then transform all incubator tokens you control. Some of you might be wondering, what is Incubate? How many of you already know what Incubate is? Did you learn it somewhere? Did you watch a video? How many of you already know what Incubate is? Okay, many of you are already aware. Incubate, if you don't know, is like a clue that becomes a creature. So, an Incubate token has a number on it, and then at some point you can pay 2 mana, like a clue that you crack to draw a card, but you can pay 2 mana to transform the token into a creature with power toughness equal to the Incubate number. It's kind of awkward that it says Incubate 2, because you would think that the 2 that you have to pay is in relation to the 2 that you're transforming, and that's not true. It's just everything's 2 mana to pay, but then the creature it becomes is the power / toughness of the Incubate number. So these turn into 2/2s, if I understand correctly. It's a 0/0 with this many +1/+1 counters. Yeah. Bunch of judges. You're right. I hate it. But yeah. So if somebody incubates 4, then they get an artifact. It's sitting there on the battlefield, and as soon as, whenever they want to, at instant speed or whatever, they can pay 2 and transform it into a 0/0 creature with 4+1/+1 counters. Yeah, jerks. Okay. Does that make sense? So these are 5 artifacts that can transform into 2/2 creatures at the price of 2 mana each. But then it does say, then transform all incubator tokens you control. So it's going to transform them. So this is 5 2/2s. 5 0/0s with 2+1/+1 counters each. Technically. Right? This is fine. All right. Then, chapter 2. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain double strike until end of turn. That's a lot of damage. Like, if it's just those, that's like a 30 damage or something. Okay. Sure. Then destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. Exile the ancient etchings, return to the battlefield. Destroy all other permanents except artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. So all non-Phyrexian creatures, some enchantments and planeswalkers in there. Okay. Again, this is probably window dressing. This is probably the card that you need to evaluate, and you need to treat the ability like an ultimate on a planeswalker. It's not going to happen too often. When it does, is it like super good? Yep. That's the bar it has to pass. Yes, it's definitely super good. So yeah, I mean, did we learn from Sheoldred that these kind of effects are really nasty? I think we did. Asking somebody to pay 1 every time they damage you or they lose 2 life makes racing really hard. Like, really hard. I don't know. We'll see. This seems like a pretty good card, doesn't it? This seems pretty Magic the Gathering playable, this particular Praetor. Seems very frustrating for aggressive decks. I mean, this is my kind of best of 1 card, man. Just make the aggro decks miserable. Combines really well with Sheoldred, ironically, because Norn has Sheoldred disemboweled and beheaded and stuff. But yeah, that text seems like a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. It's no Shelly. It's different Shelly, right? It's much better, much better against any kind of aggressive like deck as far as like immediate-ish impact. Like the clock gets really short. Now, if you're not attacking the opponent, if this is like your only creature, like a control win con, it's not going to do any good because they're just going to pay the life and not care. It's made for like racing, you know? Like this card in like a Rafine type deck is probably a real pain in the butt. Does it take Shelly's spot? Shelly's so good. I don't know. We'll see. I think that this will see some play. There's got to be a shell where this is a good card. I think. All right. What else we got? What else we got for cards? Magic the Gathering cards, people? All right. Merciless Repurposing. Is that Urabrask? You're not looking so hot, dude. It looks like they took all your arms and legs. And maybe your head. As the harvesters bore away the last of his limbs, what remained of Urabrask heard an Elesh Norn say, "Leave the traitor be." Gross. This is not fine. Definitely not fine. All right. Exile target creature and incubate 3. 6 mana. Instant. Yeah, that's a bit expensive for removal, but hey, story is story, right? Oh, guys, we've got a shark in the sky, a Phyrexian shark in the sky. That's cool. We got Marauding Dreadship. This boat has somehow become Phyrexian. I think there's a hole in it. Not sure how it's going to handle that. But poor Ixalan pirates, am I right?
On Ixalan, she seeks the Elder Dinosaur.
All right, double face card. Italy, Primal Conqueror. 5 and a red, 7/7 Elder Dinosaur rare. Trample. When Italy enters the battlefield, each player exile cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. It's an ETB Italy? Each player. So just right away, cast them for free. You get, it's an ETB Italy. Oh my god. That is really cool. Free spells are really cool. Yes, it is very EDH. Obviously, it scales with more players. Good job doing the math on that one. In standard, it is like you'd just rather have a Troxa, right? Probably. I mean, this will have more potential immediate impact on the battlefield as you can flip over big spells, but for the most part, you just want a Troxa. It does also hit yourself. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right. But there's more.
Dinosaur Italy. In the Primal Conqueror, she sees the image of herself. All that's left is to make this predator a little more perfect.
Are you down with the sickness? Come on, get down with the sickness. Ooh, 11/11. Trample Indestructible. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters. It doesn't have toxic, guys. It has infect. It's an 11/11. Indestructible Trample Infect. Holy shit. They dead. Someone's dead. Counters and damage. Who cares? If they're dead, who cares? Are you down with the sickness? Oh my god. What a monster. What an absolute monster. That card is so cool. What else we got?
Freed from the underworld, Pelucranos has been reborn. Completing this hungry...
Green Devotion fans rejoice. Green, green, green for a 4/5 reach. Oh, that's it? And then, I guess that... I mean, that rate's good. But no abilities on the front other than transform this for 6, maybe 7. It's kind of disappointing. Let's see what the backside does.
Hydra will give the Phyrexians a monster...
6/6 reach life link. Ew. Whenever this or non-token Hydra you control dies, create a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra creature token with reach, and a 3/3 green and white Phyrexia Hydra creature token with lifelink. It's the Wormcoil Engine! That's why it has Engine of Ruin in the title. I see what they did there. That is not bad for a creature that's already like a boom rate kind of card. It still doesn't solve the biggest problem green has, which is it can't remove anything and it can't push its damage through anything. Like green playing defense is a disaster because other decks have removal spells. So mono green needs a way to kill stuff. It just has to have it. It has to have a way to kill a Sheoldred without like death touching itself. That sounded terrible. But you know what I mean. So this doesn't solve green's problems, but if green can solve their problems, this card is pretty good. You just can't... I guess you could run it in a deck with other colors. It's just really hard with a triple green kind of cost line to do, but it can be done.
Monstrous upper hand in overthrowing the multiverse. In his new form, he will match the mother of machines. The shell of porcelain
Very
white and
much so.
scarlet will serve as a trademark of her growing dominion. While Elish Norn is prowling for new prey, her minions are holding down the
Etched Host Doombringer. What the hell is that?
fort on Phyrexia. Glissa is staying busy by
Glissa! What's Glissa up to? That's an expensive Glissa. 3 black green, 3/5 legendary creature, Phyrexian zombie elf rare. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, you choose one. You either incubate 2 twice. Too many 2s. We gotta incubate different numbers. Transform all incubator tokens you control. Phyrexians you control gain first strike and death touch until end of turn. Can we just not just dish that ability out? My god. It's so brutal. It's so brutal. That is a pretty meh card, probably. But it does say at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. So this does work the turn it enters the battlefield. So maybe it's a little better than I think. I guess it depends if we can find ways to like incidentally incubate while doing other cool things.
incubating new invaders. These parasites will follow in the footsteps of their matriarch. Meanwhile, Nissa, now fully complete.
The feels. Oh my god, the feels. You gotta fight your girl. They were friends. Now they're fighting. Oh my god. It's like the whole plot of Creed 3. My new form must be hard to understand. Sorcery. 1 and a black. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a creature or battle card from it. If you do, that player discards that card. If you don't, incubate 3. So, a discard effect that only hits very specific things like creatures and battles. But if it misses, you get a potential 3/3 later. It can't really be a 2-for-1. But I guess if they have no creatures and no battles, they're likely a control-ish deck. They're not going to be on the battlefield. So you'll probably have time to activate that 3/3, and you do it at instant speed. So maybe that's fine. Maybe that's not actually a bad thing. And the 3/3 does get around cut down and it gets around go for the throat. So it's actually harder to kill than the average. This might be better than I think it is. I still think it's a little bit slow for best of 1.
Must confront a paragon of her past. The sight of her new form will shift the ground beneath Chandra's
See,
feet.
somebody made a shake.
As Elish Norn's
Somebody
armies
was like, "Can we
lay
get a
waste
sound
to these
effect right there?
worlds,
Can
the
we get a little
Phyrexians will
visual?"
continue to claim more trophies. Nothing is safe from their contagious grasp.
Storm clouds are settling in across the open skies. The earth is separating under the
It's a
influence of an
forest.
evil
What do you
force.
think he'll do?
Cracks in the soil are taking the shape of a sinister symbol. Hovering portals are the precursors to their arrival. The Phyrexians are everywhere.
Dude, Invasion of Dominaria, dragons, Pegasi, soldiers. Get them. Let's go.
In order to travel across the multiverse, they've activated their greatest
Invasion of Eldraine? Look at this stuff. Oh my god, that is so freaking creepy. They're knights. They're like Phyrexianized knights. And the fairies are like, we're gonna throw down. All right.
weapon, Realmbreaker, the invasion tree. Through its sprawl.
All right. Realmbreaker. We're looking for probably callbacks to the World Tree, and we definitely have it. 3 mana, legendary artifact, rare, 2 and a tap. Target opponent mills 3 cards. Put a land card from their graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. It gains if this land would leave the battlefield. If this land would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Okay, they can't get their lands back. Although, how would they? Field of Ruins and stuff? I don't know. 10 and a tap. Sacrifice Realmbreaker, the invasion tree. Search your library for any number of Praetor cards and put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. That is gross. Oh god, this is going to commander players like, here's my Vorinclex and my Elesh Norn and my Jin-Gitaxias and my Urabrask, so they all have haste. And whichever one I didn't say. Good god. Good god. Oh, gross. All right. Well, yay. It's Jin-Gitaxias.
Sprawling branches, they send their mechanical legions to convert all planes. From Kamigawa to Ikoria, the contagion proliferates.
Ninjas versus Phyrexians.
On Ravnica,
sharks that walk. Giant kaiju sharks that looks like King Kong over here. Although we call it Kogla. That is... Oh, who is that? Morang? Fury of a Comb? A Comb? Something like that. This is a mutate pile? Oh, it is. It is a mutate pile. That is a pouncing shore shark on a... It's not a porcuparrot. But there you go.
Realmbreaker's metal limbs erupt from the center square.
That's bad. Right in the middle. I guess the whole of Ravnica is all a city, right? The whole plane is a city.
But standing their ground are constructs who have sworn to defend the Guild Pact.
Constructs who have sworn to defend the Guild Pact. They have sweet armor, don't they? Like they are here for all the guilds. Look at that. That is so sweet. Azorius right where it should be, right on the top. Absolutely.
They will hold the first line of resistance. Similar scenes of horror and chaos are unfolding everywhere. On Kaladesh,
Little
watchers
squiddies
of the Surgical Bay skitter in pursuit of flywheel racers as they zip through the city streets.
Steampunk, let's go.
Converted vampires tangle with the natives of Olgrotha beneath the haunting light of a full moon. Completed dragons rip through the skies of Tarkir as their lightning breath echoes in a thunderous quake.
This I want to see. Phyrexian dragon fights in the sky. The dance of the dragons. Dance of completed dragons. Dun 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 dun. Kolagon. Kolagon was always kind of a dick, huh?
On Fiora, assassins and city guards clash with corrupted soldiers.
Invasion of Fiora. 4 black battle siege. Rare. 4 battle counters, I guess. It's got a name, right? What do they call these? It's not loyalty. Like, what did they give this a name? 4 defense. All right, thank you. When Invasion of Fiora enters the battlefield, choose one or both. Destroy all legendary creatures and destroy all non-legendary creatures. I do like the one or both wording. I hate leaving anything alive with my sweeper effect. It is 6 mana. So what's the backside? Is it the new Blood on the Snow? Let's find out.
This siege threatens the lives of everyone on the plane. But their queen, Marquesa, refuses all.
So it is kind of weird that you have to attack your battle or somehow damage your battle in order to get this after a sweeper effect. So you definitely need to be playing like legendary or anti-legendary kind of theme. But then if you flip this pretty quickly, you get Marquesa, the Resolute Monarch, which is a menace, death touch 3/6. And whenever this attacks, remove all counters from up to 1 target permanent. All counters, huh? At the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt combat damage since your last turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. We're a monarch! We are the Monarch. We brought Monarch to standard. All right. Anyway, hallelujah for Monarch fans. It is a mechanic mostly, well, 100% like used in Commander. Unless you count some legacy Palace Jailer stuff. Can this be your commander? I don't know. Can this be your commander? Judge? I vote yes. I vote yes because, like, Marchesa, that can't be your commander. The card is kind of a commander superstar. Here's what you have to ask. Here's the question you have to ask. Guys, what sells more cards? The ability to have this as your commander, or not the ability to have this as your commander? Right. So, just gonna take a guess. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Life goes on. This card is kind of cool because if you buy into either theme, either you have a ton of legends or you don't have legends, when you play this, you're blowing up creatures from the opponent's side so that you can attack it very freely and make it flip right away. And the flip side is formidable. Like, this card is pretty wild. It has card advantage. You already blew stuff up, so it gained card advantage when you played it. It is like 1 billion mana, so it should be very powerful. I guess we'll also see how much it's worth it to build around attacking to remove counters from a permanent. That's a little weird. You can remove counters probably from battles and opponents' planeswalkers, and there's a lot of places where you can use the ability. I'm just not sure how it comes together with either the all legendary or no legendary theme that your deck is going to want to hold to, so that when you play the actual battle that it works well for your commander. So we'll see. We will see. We will see. This card looks good. This card looks like you could build a blood money type deck around it. You know what I mean? Like a bunch of value creatures, but then you play this thing and you blow up all your opponent's legends, and then you attack and remove it, and you have a mega board state, and they have to then recover. City of Fire
are bellowing. The mage rings of Viren are overloading.
What? What is a mage ring of Viren? I need one of those Vorthos people. What's a mage ring of Viren? These look like frickin' Stargates, and it's sick. It's Jace's home plane. Thank you. But what's a mage ring? You mean Vryn? Do you mean Vryn, or do they mean Vryn? You're making stuff up yet?
Realmbreaker's gnarled branches are puncturing the surface of every plane.
Pretty dinos. Rainbow dinos.
The stakes have never been higher, and everyone...
Where's this? Zendikar? They've got the triangle, or not the triangle, the diamond. Is this Zendikar? I think it is.
Is rising to the defense of their home. But whose home will survive the invasion? And whose home won't?
I mean, obviously it's Kaladesh. That is the Aether Flux freaking reservoir. They're going for the reservoir. Don't let them get the reservoir. Deal them 50 damage.
Phyrexia is taking the fight to just about every world we've ever been to. Recent hotspots, fan favorites. Elesh Norn is coming for them all. If the Phyrexians aren't at your doorstep yet, they will be soon. Prepare for battle. Introducing Battles, a brand new card type in March of the Machine.
Do they float around and get 3D
Phyrexia's
like this?
invasion of the
That would be
multiverse,
sweet.
and
Maybe we
everyone
can do that
else
on Arena.
playing a little defense. Here's Invasion of Ikoria.
All right. Green X 6 defense. When Invasion of Ikoria enters the battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for a non-human creature card with mana value X or less. Put it onto the battlefield. What? This is like a Green Sun Zenith type of effect? But it also creates a permanent? It's like 2 permanents? Onto the battlefield, huh? It just has to be a non-human creature. I mean, that selection is pretty good. That's a pretty powerful effect to get 2 permanents, one of which is something you sought. Green X is a lot. Like 2 higher than the actual mana cost of that spell is pretty nasty. You probably, I mean, unless you have like a real kind of silver bullet type card, you're going to want to pay like 5, 6, 7 mana to do this. So you're getting something very powerful. So it seems great in Historic Brawl, great in Commander, seems medium in Standard, a little too slow in Standard. Standard also still has the, oh, I'm sorry, did you want to cast a big sorcery? Well, Thalia, you know, there's still like that issue.
Each battle is a transforming double-faced card. A battle enters the battlefield front face up, with a number of defense counters on it. That's how much damage it takes to defeat it. Let's break it all down. Battle causes that many defense.
Nope, still not there. Where's the other side? Okay, so it's a bit of extra of a tutor type effect. You go fetch a creature, then you get this later. When the battle is defeated, you get Zilotha, Apex of Ikoria. It transforms into an 8/8 reach dinosaur. For each non-human creature you control, you may have that creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. Oh god, that's just like game over, man. That's just game over. Dang. It's a good text if you want to hit people. Very good green mirror breaker, yeah. It's an over-the-top... I mean, this is a Timmy card. Can we agree? This is a Timmy card, right? Yeah. Very big Timmy card. When you have big mana and you have time, this can do nutty things. Standard won't give you that. Like, competitive Standard won't give you that time. But this is going to be a fun card in Commander. Some Historic Brawl decks... Yep, like, I mean, I'd probably play this in something like an Azusa or a Tatiova, just because your whole thing is ramping up mana. Why not? The heroes. Whoa. What?
The forces of Elesh Norn are overrunning the multiverse. The mark of the Phyrexians is forming across all its lands. But fear not, for there is hope on the horizon. These plains are the homes of...
Get it? Because it's Chandra, so, like, we say stuff about being hot all the time. But, yeah.
Heroes, and they are teaming up far and wide to protect them.
Okay, Scrappy Bruiser is the raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, but does Kung Fu, I guess? Type.
Coming, Borborygmus, or is that some kind of a badger?
Okay, we knew that we wanted more team-ups, and they revealed Borborygmus and Fipplethip. 2, green, blue, red. Cyclops Homunculus. Whenever this enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. I like that. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard one or more cards this way, it deals twice that much damage to target creature. Huh. And it's a 6/5? 5 mana, 6/5 draw a card is Is that boomer magic? Seems pretty good, right? Like, that's fine, right? Yeah, you don't have to discard. You may. So, it's just straight up draw. 1 and a blue, put Borborygmos and Thipplethip into its owner's library, third from the top. Probably not a super relevant ability. 3 turns is a billion years in Commander and in Standard, so probably not the part that matters for this card. But the fact that whenever it ETBs or attacks, you draw is, I mean, it's kind of Elder Gargaroth-y, really. It doesn't stabilize the battlefield in quite the same way, but it can just, like, kill stuff. So, yeah, if you cast this, say you just have a land or two in your hand when you cast this, you draw a card, so you have a fresh card, that's hot. You discard a land you probably didn't need, maybe 2 lands you probably didn't need. You kill something on the battlefield, that's a pretty great ETB. Like, that's a really good ETB. You feel like this is slow for 5 mana? I feel like if 5 mana is much better than this, it's insane. This seems really good to me. It does matter if, like, is Standard about creatures on the battlefield and what is their toughness like? Like, this thing killing a Shieldred means you have to discard 3 lands. That's a lot. That's a lot. So that's kind of rough. Like, if everything has 5 toughness, this card is probably a lot worse. But it seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Definitely not terrible. Might be one of the more playable team-ups. I also like to think that Thalion the Gitrog monster has hope, but I'm not positive. Pretty cool. Ah! Guys, what the hell is this? Huh? What the frickin' Magic the Cartooning is this? When did we become the Disney afternoon? DuckTales, woo! You guys like it? Yeah, that's the thing about art, right? That's the thing about art. All right, who's this elephant dude? Quintorius. Lore Master, 3 red, white, legendary creature, elephant, cleric, rare, 3/5 vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, exile target non-creature, non-land card from your graveyard. Create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Not bad. Good rate. Good rate. That can happen the turn you play it. 1 and a red and a white. Sacrifice a spirit. Choose target card exiled with Quintorius. You may cast that card this turn without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, put it on the bottom of its owner's library instead. Mandatory ? Look, it's mandatory to make sure you don't screw up. Because some of you nerds are like, oh, I don't want to exile a card from my graveyard to make a 3/2. What good's a 3/2? This card in my graveyard, I have like 1 copy of Regrowth in here somewhere. If I draw it, I really want it back. They're just trying to force you to play right. All right. This plus Omniscience seems fun. True. Wrong color identity, though. You got to think in color identity. This is like a Historic Brawl Commander card, you know? Infinite Time Warp. How? How? It just goes on the bottom of the library. I mean, it's not a bad rate, but it's not great. It's 5 mana for 3/5 vigilance and a 3/2 creature most of the time. That's like 6-7 worth of stats for 5. It's fine. And it can do cool stuff if it lives and the spirit lives till your next turn. That's pretty optimistic. I don't see it making a big standard splash. Could be a fun build around for Commander, though, if you can find really busted cards to play in Boros. You also have to fill your graveyard in Boros. I mean, you have Cathartic Reunion and all of that kind of stuff, but doesn't really do it for me. I guess if you cycle really big spells, are there any big cycling thingies?
To awaken the spirits of heroes past. He believes the scroll is mightier than the sword. But maybe not this sword. Surveil and flashback.
Baby! The Sword of Once and Future, completing the sword cycle. 3 artifact equipment mythic. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from blue and black. Those are good colors. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, Surveil 2. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. That spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. That's pretty good value. This is all right. You know, I would, it's hard to put card advantage on both sides of the card, you know, so we're not going to see that very often. And it doesn't make mana or ramp you like some of the swords that are really good do. It's almost closer, though. It's almost closer to, I got to be careful saying this, it's close to being a standard sword. Because blue and black, like especially black, right? Very dangerous, like the removal color. Like there's so much black in standard, right? So if you can get this on something and dodge their removal, and especially like blue and black doesn't remove an artifact easily, probably going to do a lot of nasty damage, a lot of mean things, and get good value. Now, this does dictate the type of deck you have to play. There's got to be a good amount of instants or sorceries in your deck, or this isn't good. So that's a little bit of a challenge, because you have to have a mix of creatures you want to equip with this, and instants and sorceries. Not many decks are going to love that. Not many decks are going to have that. So, I don't know. I don't know if it'll actually make it, which is too bad. But I do like seeing the swords all completed, you know? Complete.
Back enthusiasts unite. This is just the weapon to brandish against any unwanted invaders, of which there are plenty. From the Guardians of Kaladesh to the Raptors of Ixalan.
Dude, ready to get you. Has 4 arms and 4 swords. Let's game.
Our heroes are armed to the razor
Very
teeth
cool
in
raptor.
defense. Perhaps no better bearer of a pair of blades is...
What the hell is going on here? 3 white, Boonbringer Valkyrie, Angel Warrior rare, not legendary, 4/4, backup 1. When this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature. If it's another creature, as in you can put it on yourself, but you don't have to. It gains the following abilities until end of turn. Flying, First Strike, Lifelink. Oh my god. So this just comes down and you take your Wandering Emperor token and you put a counter on it and you give it all these abilities and you get a life burst and you get a little extra right then. It's better than a Baneslayer Angel, right? Like, actually better. People are yelling limited. I mean, like I don't know, man. I think this card seems very playable to me. Very playable. Like, if you just have any kind of a decent body to throw all those abilities on, like, you change the face of the game so fast. Even if they only get them for 1 turn. It's like, you guys love Angel Fire Ignition, right? This card is a lot of Angel Fire Ignition, but you also have a creature. that also has these abilities that the opponent also has to kill. That is so hard for an opponent to beat with any kind of combat-based deck. And I don't know how they do it. No flash, no haste. You are the greediest freaking human that can possibly exist. Are you even human? No flash, no haste. Good God. This or AO at 5 mana? I mean, it depends. Like, AO's better against Go for the Throat. This is better against any kind of creature-based board state, right? Like, this is way better against red than AO is. AO is a bit slow, right? AO is better against black. This is better against red. I think I'm probably going to have to play this a good amount, because even if you have just a token or something, the little swing in like life and just board presence is tremendous. It's so cool. And it's pretty good in an aggro deck if you can build an aggro deck that curves up to 5, which is a challenge, and you don't do too much, and maybe it's only a 1 of or 2 of in like a Boros deck like that, but it's still really good. It's still a finisher. I don't know, man. Card seems rock solid to me. Sign me up for 2 swords and some wings.
Teamwork that makes the dream work. Calling on her for backup allows her to share her abilities with an ally. Such
what's coming up, guys?
will be the key to keeping the skies of Kaldheim
Yeah, this with
clear.
Adeline does seem busted.
Battling alongside a buddy is one thing, but how about summoning an entire continent for support? The Zalfarins have been released from their time rift.
The Zalfarins! They're back! They've been phased out for so long. The invasion of New Phyrexia is an X-white-blue battle siege, mythic 6 defense counters. When it enters the battlefield, create X-2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. All right, you make a bunch of knights and you get a battle. And if you attack the battle and get its defense down, something good happens. Let's see what happens.
And they're returning the fight back to Phyrexia. Leading the invasion is none other than Teferi Akosa.
This face. I guess I'm attacking. I've never done it before. How do I do this? Staff. Charge. Nath is for blockers. Good God. All right. Legendary Planeswalker Teferi with 4 loyalty, +1, draw 2 cards. Now that sounds like Teferi. Then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. What? -2. You get an emblem with knights you control, get +1/+0 and have ward 1. -3, tap X creatures you control. When you do, shuffle target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value X or less into its owner's library. Are you telling me I have to have a bunch of creatures for my Planeswalker Teferi to be good? Our boy, what have they done to our boy? I might just protest this card. But probably not. Probably not. Fine. Fine. I'll make some knights. I'll use them as removal. At least the -3 lets me use them as removal, right? But seriously, you need me to play a creature card? To get a draw 2? Heck, to get a draw 2, discard 1, you need me to play creatures? You only gave me 4 spirited companions. What else am I supposed to play? Trying to turn Azorius into creature gaming. Does this fit in anything right now? Like real question, does this fit anywhere right now? Because it's so weird, because I think that actually getting your Teferi out of it is going to be so hard. If you're playing a creature deck, you really want to attack face. You don't want to attack the invasion of New Phyrexia, right? You don't want to attack this. So if you are attacking it, it's probably because your opponent has so much life that attacking their face doesn't matter that much right now. But if that's the case, they probably have a board, which means you're attacking nothing. This seems... we'll have to play with it. New card types are hard to evaluate. We'll have to play with it. This seems like... It seems like the backside is irrelevant. Because if you want this effect, and even if you build around the backside, you just hit their face, right? You just go face. Is it worth it for the front side? So, if this card had no backside, if it were a sorcery, would this see play in Standard? I don't think so. I think every deck that wants to do this is a Thalia deck, which means you're taxing it, which, like, we don't play enough of the Kayla's Reconstruction, right? Like, that's a pretty good card. And we don't have Night Synergy. Now, when Eldraine arrives in the fall and things rotate, I have to assume there will be more Night Synergy, and then maybe we'll have a very good reason to play this card. Thalia will also rotate in the fall, so creature decks can consider casting more than like 2 spells. But for the most part, I mean, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. This plus Mind Splicer Apparatus. It's nice that you haven't lost your touch with trolling, because it's not a sorcery, you fool. He just wants attention. Are there spells that deal defense damage? There will be. So there will be spells that, like, deal damage that could be dealt to battles. And we'll see if any of those are in the color combination and somehow make sense. So, for example, if you played this and then you played like a 4-mana sorcery that did 6 damage to all creatures and planeswalkers in battles, sure. Sure. But we'll see. I can't get over this. Doesn't this look like he's never attacked before? He's trying out this new attacking thing that everybody else does, but he's not sure he's doing it right. His staff is just pointed a bit off center. He's going to miss. He's going to take his first swing. He's going to miss. He knows it. He really hopes everybody behind him knows what they're doing. He's just, you know, this isn't Gandalf charging down the mountain. This is new territory. He just really hopes they catch up to him soon. Yep, fake it till you make it. That's what that is. That's exactly what's going on there. All right. March of the Machine card previews and battle mechanics. Baral and Kari Zev. That is a team up. I hate it. The bluest, most controlliest with the reddest, most aggroist commanders from Historic Brawl together as a team. Can't cost more than 3 mana, though, I think. I mean, maybe it costs 4, but probably be a cheap and powerful pile of value. Of course, we know Galta and Mavrin. Grandma is flying a chariot pulled by giant bats. Hoggies. I think I missed something. Yeah, there it is. Ifara Ever Sheltering. Ifara Ever Sheltering. Is this a god? Are you a god? And this has to be Theros. There's no way this is anywhere else. It looks like you're getting cut in half. I don't know. That's a very big creature. Stasis
The
field.
war is felt heaviest in the hearts of its
Are we getting a reprint of Stasis?
heroes, and they all have a score to settle with the fire.
Luca, you're gonna die. I mean, Luca is getting freaking rocked. That's Vadrock, right? I think that's Vadrock. And Vivian's gonna shoot you. You're dead.
Phyrexians. As this epic story
So who's this? Who's got this stuff on the neck? Like, who is this? This is a white-haired goblin? Mirrans? Okay. Just some Mirran gamers. All right, some Mirrans. And then we've got Kaya. Nope. Just Mirrans. Nope. And they're just like, we're gonna get Ren to the tree. That's what's gonna happen here.
Reaches its apex. Familiar faces will
We're
prove
getting Ren to the
pivotal
tree.
to Elish Norn's downfall. Among them is Ren, the Dryad, who will exert her influence on the very core that powers the marching machine. Sealed from existence, showcases the potency of her elemental.
Ren uses white magic, even though there's a lot of flame and fire on the art. One white enchantment uncommon. Ward 3, when sealed from existence, enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Oh, damn. Oh, wow. Oh, that's like the best banishing light, right? The whole problem with banishing light, and the reason I hate those cards, is when the opponent blows their thing up and they get it back at instant speed, you are effed. And they can do it so cheap, right? But this, like, Ward 3 means like if they have that much mana open, you can actually play expecting your thing to get blown up, so it's not a total blowout. You know what I mean? And it's just so hard to do. Void Rend keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? A banishing light for 2023, for sure. It's a good card. Good card. Oh, I love it. Gonna play some of that in Yorion. Then Ren's Resolve.
Bonding with the invasion
pumped.
tree will give Ren unprecedented power. She will use it to stretch her hands across the blind eternities and reach for Teferi.
Transcendent message.
Through this connection, a timely message will travel to the temple.
God? Is that you? X blue instant rare, convoke, draw X cards. They really want me to play with creatures. They really want me to play with creatures. White Sun's Twilight? White Sun's Twilight, you say? I mean, if you like to win more, let me tell you a story about somebody who cast a White Sun's Twilight and then cast a Transcendent Message. Good God. I don't know, man. We need blue creatures that can actually live on the battlefield, man. We really do. Because we need to pay some of that quad blue. We need to pay some of that cost with Convoke. If we're not paying some of that with Convoke, it's not very good. I think the cost is too high. I do. I really do. I think the cost of this is just too high. Unless there are some other cards that come out that just make a whole bunch of nonsense creatures. Again, I think about like Kayla's Reconstruction. We don't even play that card very much. If you have a bunch of creatures in your deck, if board presence matters to you, isn't that card better than this one? Maybe for certain types of decks, right? But still, like, where are we going to get the bodies on the field to make this good? Wedding announcement? I mean, I've cast that card a lot. The creatures don't live that long. Silver Scrutiny better? Probably. This one has a higher ceiling by far. You just don't get to that ceiling in standard. So I can't see it in standard. I really can't. In Historic Brawl and in Commander, I feel like there are better options. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm missing it. Sky Strike Officer and Soldiers is probably more worth it. Yeah. The Sky Strike Officer, considerably better card.
Temporal Pilgrim. With her last strength, she will defy the impossible by phasing all of Zhalfir back into existence.
Dang.
On Phyrexia, at the center of the Maelstrom, another...
Who dis? Is that Brimaz? That's a Johnny? That's a Johnny. Oh yeah. Boy, did he get ugly.
Hero faces an impossible dilemma. Hanging in the balance between life and unlife, a Johnny awaits in suspense for...
All right. We're getting to the part I don't like. First of all, that face. So, Melira can uncomplete people? You can be uncompleted?
Intervention. The cure to his condition lives in the heart of Melira, the Mirran outcast. With her selfless sacrifice, he will finally be freed.
Teferi gave them time. Karn gave them a chance, but it was Melira who paid the ultimate price to free Ajani from Phyrexia's grasp. Why did she free Ajani then? Like why do we need an Ajanjans? Because he was there. Okay. I guess we'll see. Some people really love their pets. Just big time kitty fan. All right.
From the grasp of Phyresis. This war may affect no hero more than Karn, who was partially responsible for its beginning. Burdened by the regret of losing his home plane of Mirrodin to the Phyrexians ages ago, he returns to Machine Hell with one singular purpose: to destroy its mother.
But he's like in pieces, and she's got his head. See, this is what I don't get. If they show all this
Breathe
stuff,
the flesh of the world.
this is cool.
For the glory.
Yeah, we're going to Kamigawa. Going to Kamigawa. We're in Japan.
All have united as one in this world of metal and flesh.
So, in the story bits that I've read so far, Karn's head is like, and isn't there art of just Norn holding Karn's head? Like here we got Karn with his bits and pieces hanging out. It's like they did they changed it a little to do a condensed version for this trailer, which is kind of weird to me.
The realms have called for their mother. Welcome. Our embrace.
I was called to this world of steel. It will be my steel that answers.
Hero! All right. I am on story number 7, I think, of 8. So I'm not caught all the way up, so I didn't know about the Melira thing. In the story, though, that I was just informed of the, like, Elspeth, like, showed up to protect Chandra and Ren, not Karn. So I don't know. They definitely changed some stuff from the story. I don't know, man. That's weird. They put all this work into the story. Maybe they changed some things in the story. Maybe they had to commission this to get made like way in advance. It just kind of, you know, it triggers me a little when it's different from the story that I just read, because I just read that last night. You know what I mean? So, I'm not kidding. This is the kind of little thing none of you care about, but it matters to me. Watch her walk toe heel. Walking toe heel is a thing I had to learn for a play a long time ago. It's where you lead with your toe instead of your heel. Try it sometime, but you put your toe down and then your heel, and your toe down and then your heel. And it makes you look like walk all fancy. And it just kind of trips me up that Elesh Norn, of course, walks toe heel, even when walking into battle. That it's kind of wild. But yeah, just sometime try walking and putting your toe down first and then your heel, instead of your heel down then your toe. In fact, do it right now. Right now. Get out of your chair. I'll wait. We'll all wait. I'm actually not going to progress the stream until you do it. Get out of your chair. Yeah, and just try it. Just walk, take a little walk. And try putting your toe out first, and then put your heel down. I had to learn to walk like that. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Yeah, no. Feels super weird. Yeah, it does. You know what's cool? You know what's neat? Just having that. Like, I only did it for this one play. And it was a long time ago, a stage play by Moliere called Tartuffe. And I did it so long ago. But if I'm ever walking and I like get a sore on like a certain part of my foot, or my feet just get tired, or my heels start to ache, I can switch to toe heel and just give it some relief. Because I have it, you know? It's like this skill that just comes in handy every now and then. You get a blister in the wrong spot. Like, I remember my feet really started to ache when I was on a vacation to Europe, and I just started walking toe heel everywhere. And sure, people thought I was weird. But, you know, it's just a handy little skill. Might come in handy. I love how Norn does it too. Like, just the fact that Norn does it drives, like, I'm like, I know what that is. Watch Elspeth go ham here for a minute. Suck it, nerds. We gonna fight? We gonna fight? Nah, we got more TIE fighters. Ew. People are into that? Norn, why so slow?
Aiding in the task is the angel Elspeth.
You're just
Who will
dead.
glide into battle on wings shining like a sixth
One
sun.
shot.
The light of Elspeth's sword will pierce through Elesh Norn as the forces of virtue and malevolence collide. Then, in a spectacular finale,
Nice armor.
Karn will set right the mistakes of his
Looking
past
good.
by assuring that Elesh Norn never returns to harm another.
I don't think she's coming back from that, guys. I think we've lost her. I don't think there's going to be another Elesh Norn card. Probably not getting out of this one. Probably not.
You were my mistake. I will forever bear the weight of your horrors and of your end.
It's a common. It's a black. It's Mirrodin Avenged. It's an instant. Destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Draw a card. Is that literally you're already dead? She'll never be the head of a major corporation. Oh God, that got me. That got me. All right. Oh, it's no way to get ahead in life.
The march of the machine will come to its conclusion.
Yes, you could say she lost her head.
And that wraps things up for our debut. This set will be invading stores for pre-releases on April 14th, on Arena and Magic Online April 18th, and available everywhere on April 21st. But the story doesn't end there. Be sure to catch the aftermath online by reading the epilogue on May 1st and 2nd. Learn more about those cards on May 2nd, play them on Arena and Magic Online May 11th, and they will be available everywhere on May 12th. Now is the time to prepare for your one last stand.
Very cool. Very cool. There are more cards revealed. Do we want to go take a look? What are you? Why do I ask? Of course you want to take a look. Are they on here? All right. We got cards. Coming fast and furious, gamers. Fast and furious. Sure, memory saver. Let's go. Who knows what I just turned on? Actually didn't talk about this card with you guys. Or this card. Gonna have to make some Covert Go 2 videos now that I'm back from California. Alright, how does this look? Let's do the things. Dark mode for the people. There we go. Actually, does that work? That's pretty good. Scrappy Bruiser, 3 and a red, uncommon Raccoon Warrior, Pog. 3/4. Whenever it attacks up to one target attacking creature gets +2/+0 and gains trample till end of turn. Return that creature to owner's hand at end of combat. Embercleave! It's totally an Embercleave. That's all. That's the evaluation. Norn's Inquisitor, 1 and a white, 1/1 Phyrexian Knight, uncommon. When it enters the battlefield, incubate 2. Whenever a permanent you control transforms into a Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's a 2-mana 1/1 that has an ETB to potentially make a 2-mana 3/3. I mean, it's good value. We'll see if there's a place where it makes a lot of sense. Kami of Whispered Hopes, 2 and a green, Spirit, 1/1 uncommon. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a permanent you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on that permanent instead. Tap, add X mana of any one color where X is Kami of Whispered Hope's power. I have no idea what I just read, and I hope I never have to read it again. However, that effect is very popular when you're doing counters. You want more counters. Of course you do. Of course you do. Halo Forager. Halo Forager. 1 and a Dimir, total of 3. 3/1 Flying Fairy Rogue, uncommon. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value X from a graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. Man, do I really wish this had flash. It's a fairy too. God, it would be so cool with flash. Like, it would still probably be niche, but it would be good. As it is, I don't think it's good. Too expensive. Pretty cool card, but too expensive. Maybe it sees play 1 or 2 of somewhere. Botanical Brawler, white and green for a trample 0/0 elemental warrior. When it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on another permanent you control. If it's the first time +1/+1 counters have been put on that permanent this turn, Put a +1/+1 counter on Botanical Brawler. So counters make thing big, trample, go boom, yay. Not bad. I'm never into the +1/+1 counter decks. Other people are. Oh god. Oh god. Scryfall, what have you done? How do I turn this sideways? One moment. I am literally twisting my monitor. It won't go all the way. The cords aren't loose enough to let it go all the way. Hold on. Can I get the cord? Can I get some cord slack? Can I get some slack from my cords? All right. There we all right, I got about a 45-degree angle. When Invasion of Ixalan enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in any order. This is 1 and a green for a 4 defense battle siege. Let me move this back. Straighten monitor. My OCD is triggered. Hello? Backside? Backside? Seems worse than the other battles having no backside. All right, well, that's sad. Moving on. Archpriest of Shadows, 3 black human warlock rare 4/4 creature with backflip. Nope, backup 1. I think backflip would be a better name. When this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter. Oh yeah. Anyway, the thing. Backflip 1. Death Touch. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. From the graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty good, right? The fact that it gives the thing a counter and Death Touch, like whatever is out before it, whatever creature you have on the field, the Shieldred or whatever. Double Death Touch, Pog. But the fact that it gives it Death Touch and a counter means the opponent really doesn't want to block it. So in a way, it forces them to chump. If they don't have a good token creature, if they're chumping with something relevant, that's really painful. This is a pretty good card. The only way it's bad is if you're not getting in there when you cast it. So higher ceiling, low floor, because then you have to hit with it before you get that value. So if you're building around Reanimator type effects, this isn't amazing. My God, what if you have one of these and a double striking creature? That's really good. What if the double striking creature, you also have another Archpriest of Shadows in the graveyard that will come out and then back up the creature before it does its regular combat damage, and then you get 2 creatures? Or something? Yeah, high ceiling. Let's call that a really high ceiling. That's what that is. Holy crap. Ren and Realmbreaker. 1 green, legendary planeswalker Ren, mythic for loyalty. Lands you control have Chromatic Lantern. +1. Up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental with vigilance, hexproof, and haste until your next turn. That's still a land. -2. Mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from among milled cards into your hand. -7. Emblem. You may play lands and cast permanent spells from your graveyard. It's a good emblem. Good emblem for sure. Including you can just recast this if it goes to your graveyard. It's a 3-mana planeswalker, so the emblem comes up fast. If you plus it, if you play it for 3 mana and then plus it, it doesn't untap the land. If it did, that would be absolutely bonkers. So that's kind of cool. In a way, it's 3 mana for unprotected, but 4 mana is protected, which makes the emblem much less likely to happen. That's kind of a cool balance of the card. The -2 is actually pretty good. It's basically draw a card. I think it resolves this way, right? If Wrenn has 2 loyalty, and say it's on a board where you know it's about to die, you can -2 it, mill 3, then return Wrenn to your hand, right? Because it's a permanent card. So you can just kind of bail it out and then cast it later, or cast it the same turn and plus it, and maybe it's out of attack range. Among the milled cards, balls. I'm wrong. I like that it makes a hexproof land. That's pretty cool. That the elemental land creature is hexproof, I should say. This will probably find a home somehow. It's too bad green absolutely sucks. If green gets to catch up, I don't think this card can do it alone. It actually needs to be somewhat defended and in a decent shell that makes it a decent threat, like on its own. I don't think green has that right now. I think if green all around catches up a bit, this card could be very good. Archangel Elspeth. How you doing? 2 white, 4 loyalty, mythic, legendary planeswalker, +1, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. -2, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It becomes an angel in addition to other types and gains flying. Just, it will now have flying forever. Nice. -6, return all non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That happens fast. That happens really fast. 4 mana plus -6. And it's making 1/1 soldiers, so it does defend itself kind of. I think that the part that's really good about it is the -2 is just like, here's a Sky Mall. Here's a Sky Mall. You get a Sky Mall. You get a Sky Mall. And they just get to keep it. It's like permanent. That's really good. Another card that's amazing with Adeline, right? Like, holy crap. Flying and 2 more counter Adeline. Flying Angel Adeline. Let's go. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really freaking good. Holy cow. Yeah. Definitely a white aggro card. Should be solid. Should be very solid. More cards. More cards. We'll see how long I can do cards today. How many are there? Oh my god. There's a billion freaking cards. That's not good for me. Guardian of Ghirapur. 2 and a white, flying, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 other target creature or artifact you control, return to the battlefield at its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Yorion! More flickery stuff. Wasn't there a next button? Is it over here? Don't know. Oh my gosh. It's so much. It's so many cards. It's so many cards. And guys, I've got... Yeah. So many ads on this site. I hate it. That's why I don't look at this site too often. Reprint a Monastery Mentor. It's an old card. Have we talked about the shark? No. I do, unfortunately, have to build 2 commander decks and review a lot more because I have to go film tonight. And I have to do a Covert Go 2 video. So I am pressed for time, guys. I do not have a lot of time. So I guess I'm going to have to leave you guys to check out all these sweet cards, which is sad. It is sad. But one must do what one must do. And I'm sure you'll get videos for the big hitters on Covert Go 2. So make sure you subscribe to that channel. Also, while I've got all of you around, just wanted to mention that in the Covert Go Blue Discord, there is a new channel. It is, well, there's a couple new channels, but we have Ask CGB, which is a place where you can ask me questions and I actually will go through and try to answer them. So make sure you join the Discord. There's also a place to vote on the next video I'm going to record. And you see here that this was a vote with Historic Emrakul Energy, Historic Brawl Grizzlebrand, and Standard. So if you ever wanted to be able to weigh in on what I'm doing, this is free, doesn't cost anything. Just join the Discord, find the channels. And yeah, there's a Discord link over there in the description. So hopefully I will see you over there. As far as streaming plans in the future, once I am still insanely busy for the next several weeks into the March of Machine release. I'm very occupied. Like, it's going to be really hard for me to make streaming time, but I do plan to figure out some way to balance all that when I finally return from what's got to be some of the most crazy busy time I've ever had as a content creator. It's pretty much from now through Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, MagicCon in May is like, I've got a lot. I am completely occupied. So I'm hustling. Still going to try to get videos out for you whenever and however I can. Main channel, of course, gameplay video, Covert Go 2, reaction video, talk about various subjects. And Twitch is by far the most time consuming of all of these, the hardest thing to make time for. But we'll do it when we can. And of course, wanted to be able to watch this kind of hype video for March of the Machines with all of you guys. So thank you very, very much for hanging out with me today. But we are going to have to end the show right about there. So let me see if all this stuff still works. Like I said, still not sure all these things will work. Let's find out. Yep. What the heck is that frame? I forgot this frame existed. And then I'm like looking in the sky, and why does it look all funky? Oh, that's just the monitor. It looks fine. This is fine. Anyway, where's my sunglasses? Let's do the thing. Thank you very much for watching this stream, especially as I figure out how to actually stream. As always, I will see you in the next one. Thank you for the subs and resubs. I appreciate all of you, the support over the years. We will continue to try to keep Magic the Gathering fun as the one in Best of One. It's time to take that ride into the sunset.